The Ducks go down to Tinseltown and run all over USC. LaMichael James continues to bear down on the Heisman with another huge Saturday. The Beavers were back from their bye against the Bears. Oregon State lays down the ambush for California, and an Oregon native falls victim to the Beaver D. On Montlake, it was raining cats and dogs, and the dogs got rained on by the Cardinal as well. In Pasadena, a Southern California native returned to his roots and lit up the Bruins. And in Tempe, the Cougars were the cure for what ailed the Devils. The month of October has wrapped up, but this edition of Inside the Pac starts right now.
You can't give him that kind of opportunity. Play action for Thomas. Throws down the middle of the field. Jeff Mail caught it, tipped it to himself, and hangs on in the end zone. What a great catch for Jeff Mail. Touchdown, Oregon. Last time 2 plays, this time 1 play.
The Ducks go into the Coliseum and turn it into the Mausoleum as Oregon now moves to 8-0. And as we get things started here, the latest AP Top 25, the Ducks stay at number 1. Oregon picked up 4 more first-place votes than a week earlier when they had 44. Boise is second, Auburn third, TCU and Alabama, Utah sixth, and Stanford moves into the top 10. Hello and welcome to another edition of Inside the Pac. I'm Tom Ward. He is Nick Krupke, and we are joined this week by former 3-sport star at Oregon, Jordan Kent, former receiver, played a little bit in the NFL. Jordan, thanks for being here today.
Hey, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Well, we heard all about Jarrell Casey's comments this week, the defensive lineman for USC, who said that Oregon, other than a good quarterback and good running back, weren't that good. Well, Darren Thomas and LaMichael James did account for over 500 yards for Oregon, so they are pretty good.
They are pretty good, but at the same time, he forgot to take into account Jeff Mail, and he had a monster game against USC, so it was great to see him go out there and perform so well. And
another shutout fourth quarter for the Oregon defense. They really have a knack for clamping down. When the going gets tough, when things look like they're stacked against them, the Oregon defense comes up and makes a play.
They did, and it was great just to see them continue to remain consistent throughout the game because USC was able to capitalize on a couple mistakes by Oregon, but for the Oregon defense to go out there and just play their brand of football and to just dominate in the second half like they have been, that's kind of been the story for Oregon this year.
Is it amazing to you to see Darren Thomas as a redshirt sophomore have such mastery of the passing game as he does?
It's incredible. I remember working out with him when he was just a freshman coming in and just kind of seeing him be a little rough around the edges, but now how well he's performing and just how he's making this offense run so efficiently because it's complicated to be able to make those reads that quickly on the fly. He's doing a fantastic job.
And then, Nick, in Corvallis yesterday, we had Oregon State with a dominating effort over Cal, 23 net yards rushing on the ground for the Golden Bears, who really just looked out of sorts.
Yeah, and Cal, you know, they're kind of forced to go to the run game, too, with the injury to Riley, but you got to look at the defense. It's really been chewed up and kind of spit out this year. 475 total yards 2 weeks ago before the bye to Washington. They come back 206, almost had a shutout, just 20 seconds short of their first shutout since 1983. You really have to like that. And then again, with no more James, what other options can you find? Well, how about the Halloween pass play by Quiz? Last year on Halloween against UCLA, threw a touchdown pass. This time, 1 day before Halloween, a little touchdown pass too.
Yeah, he said it's just that time of year we should run that play. And also a little Marcus Wheaton I should add. We talked about it on this show. Oregon State was going to need a guy like Jordan Bishop or Marcus Wheaton to step up. They ran that fly sweep with Marcus Wheaton, threw the ball to Marcus Wheaton, and really wore it out and ultimately wore out the Golden Bears. Well, let's get the things going here. And not since the year 2000 had the Ducks won a game in the LA Coliseum. That was a 28-17 victory behind the likes of Joey Harrington, Keenan Howery, and Maurice Morris. On Saturday, with the BCS #1 Auburn moving to 9-0, Oregon needed to keep up with a win. 7-0 Oregon, 5-2 SC. And prior to the game, Lee Corso, known for his affinity for the Oregon Duckhead, does it again, much to the chagrin, I should add, of USC alum Will Ferrell, sporting the Corso head, and then he takes it to him with a beating there.
That's a movie.
The main event, the nation's #1 offense led by Darren Thomas against the Pac-10's #2 offense led by Matt Barkley, also a sophomore. SC opened with a field goal. The Ducks usually have no need and no time for field goals. Darren Thomas, Airmail Express, 15 yards to Jeff Mail. And Lane Kiffin apparently didn't learn anything from the game tape from UCLA. Brandon Baer, the senior defensive tackle, 2-point conversion. It's 8-3. Late in the first, Trojans regain the lead. Mark Tyler plugs in from a yard out. SC back in front at 10-8. Second quarter, La Heisman busting loose at the Coliseum. LaMichael James, a 42-yard go-ahead score to make it 15-0 Oregon. The Trojans, though, would answer back. Tyler scored to give SC the lead again. Ducks down 17-15. But Oregon's quick strike offense struck again. Thomas unloads deep down the middle to Jeff Mayle. One heck of an athletic catch, lands on the goal line, 45-yard score. Check it out, they reviewed it, but as you can see, full possession, touchdown, 22-17 Oregon. More huge plays to come after a big Cliff Harris kickoff return. Lavoisier 2-and-A TD for LT, 33 yards, and a 29-17 lead. The Trojans try to respond, but Matt Barkley is victimized by Cliff Harris as he closes in, gets off the interception. Ducks take a 29-17 lead into the halftime locker room. Third quarter, after a Thomas INT, Matt Barkley goes in from a yard out. The Trojans go for two and they get it. It's 32-29 SC. What's going on? But Thomas answers again. Another late delivery to Mayle. 30 yards, 36-32 Oregon. Back on top as Mayle putting together a huge night. Now 43-32 Ducks, and John Boyette helps vacate the Coliseum with the fingertip INT in the end zone. Oregon's second interception of the night, and for the first time in 10 years, the Ducks win at the Coliseum, and they stay perfect on the season. 53-32 the final. The Ducks equal the best start in school history, 8-0, last achieved in 1933. Just 4 games remain in the run for a perfect regular season and a shot at the BCS National
You're
title.
going to get a
game.
very steady dose of Thomas, Lamike, and Mayle. 288 yards passing, 4 scores for DT, 8 catches, 145 receiving for Jeffrey James, 36 carries, 239 yards, 3 scores, and a team record now, 15th career game over 100 yards passing. Jonathan Stewart, his 3rd game this year already over 200 yards, one shy of Ruben Drone's record of 4 200-yard game. Not a bad season so far.
Yeah, and that was in the 1998 season to start that out. A lot of people remember that 98 offense. And Jordan, last week, Jarrell Casey fired up a few guys with those comments about Oregon being just a good quarterback and a good wide receiver, or a good running back, but they also have a pretty good wide receiver in Jeff Mayle.
They do, and he definitely put on a showcase down in LA on Saturday night. But also, it isn't just those 3. You have to give a lot of credit to the offensive line and the work they've been putting in all year. It's tough for those big guys that have that stamina for the entire game to just pound and pound and pound until the 4th quarter. But they definitely wear down the opposing team's D-line, and they've honestly been a huge key for Oregon's success this year.
And a big key for Darren Thomas, being able to find Jeff Mayle, who's a great route runner.
He is a fantastic route runner, and that's the thing. He's just consistent. He's going to be there at the right spot when his quarterback needs him, and obviously having great hands, he's able to make some huge plays on 3rd down for this team.
Well, do you think Casey believes that the rest of the Ducks are any good right about now?
I think it's going to be an interesting film session for him on Monday.
And you see LaMichael late in the game. I mean, they just continued. Without Kenyon Barner, they really, they need LaMichael to be able to work the ground game, and he did.
You really do need him to, and he kind of is the workhorse, but I like to say that he likes to provide the knockout punch at the end of games. He's the one that's going to hit the team with that demoralizing 40 to 50-yard run at the game, and for him to be playing this well this late into the season is awesome, and you obviously want him to continue to perform this well, but at the same time, get your guys back healthy, try to split up those reps as you really start to get into some of those very important games.
And you bring up a good point there, because how many times this season have we seen LaMichael James deliver that knockout punch? And he did it again last night with the big run and then caps it off with the touchdown.